So a while back, JJK chapter 261 dropped and I wasn't quite sure how to react to it, and based on the initial leaks that I saw, I thought that Kenjaku had taken over Gojo's body, but I couldn't be further away while at the same time being so close to the truth. Now, the chapter starts off with Yuji being able to land a solid hit on Sukuna while he was distracted by the man he assumed was dead, that man being none other than Gojo Satoru. Now, ever since Sukuna managed to defeat Gojo in their last encounter, many JJK fans, most especially those on the Gojo side of the fandom, had always held on to the hope that Gojo could possibly come back from the dead, just as he once did against Toji. I, for one, though, never really believed Gojo would make a return because that's just how Gege is. Now, just a quick listening, this isn't a Gojo video, by the way, but I just wanted to point out the fact that I feel Gojo served his role in the story to the fullest, and he couldn't have gone out in a better way than to die at the hands of the King of Curses, who is officially the strongest character in this series as of now. Anyways, as most of you already know, the person we all assumed that was Gojo just turned out to be Yuta in Gojo's body. Now, believe me when I say this, that nothing could have prepared me for this reveal. It honestly came as a huge surprise to me, and although I was expecting Yuta to make a return, this definitely wasn't the way I imagined. Now, despite Yuji landing what seemed to be a lethal attack on Sukuna, Sukuna just casually smacks Yuji to the side, as Sukuna has already realized that the person he initially thought was Gojo just turns out to be Yuta in Gojo's body. Anyways, we get a flashback of what seems to be a meeting between Gojo and his students, or at least just Gojo's students and some other random characters which we will not talk about. Now, it seems like Yuta had already thought of the possibility of him taking over Gojo's body if he were to fall at the hands of the King of Curses. Now, while most of the people present seem to be against this decision, some of the others don't seem to mind. One of those people being Shoko. And then we quickly get to understand why Yuta is so determined on taking said action if the situation were to reach that point, as Yuta simply wants to take the mantle that Gojo had carried all these years by himself, that mantle being the title of the strongest. Yuta seems to believe that Gojo had to bear the burden of being a monster in order to protect the entirety of Jujutsu society. Now, I've always liked Yuta because he was just a super chill character, but honestly, this made me resonate with him quite a bit. But this just makes me respect Yuta a lot more than I normally did. Besides that, we quickly get to a scene where Gojo is on his way to take care of the heads of the Jujutsu society, as if it were just another Tuesday. Then we get to see Yuta telling Gojo about the backup plan he has made if Gojo were to fall at the hands of, Sukuna. And in typical Gojo fashion, he doesn't seem to care much, mostly due to the fact that he believes he would win. Little does he know what's about to happen to him. But one thing that should be worth taking note of is that in this conversation, Gojo claims that Yuta was born probably more blessed than him, which is Gojo once again stating that Yuta has the potential to surpass him, but he still says he needs to work on his cursed energy control. And this honestly surprised me because I had always assumed that Yuta already had that under control, because if many of you have realized in JJK Volume 0, this is one thing that Geto tells Yuta, that he might have a lot of cursed energy, but without proper cursed energy control, it might as well be useless. Anyways, we fast forward towards the present day where this guy who apparently had an interesting curse technique. Now, at first glance, I thought this was a certain technique, like a creation technique like the one Mai had, but apparently it had something to do with transferring sugar in his body. Now, I still believe it could be creation technique, but as we already saw with Mai, if you don't have boundless or at least large reserves of cursed energy, this technique is pretty much useless. Anyways, we see that Yuta followed in Gojo's footsteps, as he has also been cut in half and is on the edge of death, which means the only option he has is to transfer into Gojo's body or just die, as it's stated that this is well beyond the capabilities of his reverse curse technique. Now, fast forwarding once again, we see Yuta 2.0 as he's about to go 1v1 once again with Sukuna. And something that caught my eye here was that the narrator said, how does one counter Sukuna's open barrier domain? By Gojo Satoru's hand, the solution is revealed yet again, which got me thinking, what is the solution that they're talking about? And then it hit me. If we go back to chapter 228 of the JJK manga, where we see that Gojo has realized the perfect way to counter Malevolent Shrine by simply going beyond the maximum range of Malevolent Shrine. But it's also worth mentioning that this is only possible because Gojo changed the conditions of his domain. The possibility of Yuta doing the same is up for question. Although he may understand how Gojo did this, it's still up for debate whether he's capable of such a feat. Either way, this chapter was full of a lot of shock moments that generally had me feeling really good about the next chapter. JJK is on break next week though, so we might have to wait for a bit before we get to find out what goes on in their domain clash. Anyways, we've made it to the end of the video, and I was feeling a little bit under the weather, so this video was extremely rushed. I just had to glance over a few things, just recap the chapter. When I'm feeling better though, probably by the next chapter, I'm gonna release a more detailed video on what's happening in the manga and how Yuta taking over Gojo's body is gonna affect this entire series. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video so far, consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel for more content like this. And if you have any thoughts on the recent chapter, let me know in the comments. Either way, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.